Hey guys, I am Dr. Anthony Gustin.
And I'm Chris Irvin.
And this is question number 191 of
268.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, answer 268 questions in our book, Keto Answers, detailing every single answer to every single question you have about the ketogenic diet. So 191 is?
What is the difference between fasting and keto?
This should, I think, be pretty obvious, but to people who may not know, fasting is you don't eat food. You are without food, but that will put anybody at a certain point into a state of ketosis. Ketosis, you can eat food and be in a state of ketosis and run on ketones, but you can be eating food. So there's two separate processes that kind of go on top of that. So both of them, you're going to be in a state of ketosis, likely, depends how long you fast for. For most people, it's over 24 to 48 hours if they've been eating carbohydrates before. Ketosis, you're going to be running on ketones as well. But there's some other processes that sort of separate these things into two different buckets.
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest confusions this comes from is because, like Dr. Gustin's saying here, is that the metabolic state that occurs in your body between the two are so similar that people tend to view them as being the same thing. And most times people who follow a ketogenic diet end up also practicing fasting just because it's a very easy thing to incorporate when you're not dealing with hunger and cravings and things like that. So keto was, interestingly, it was invented to mimic fasting. So back in the, for early 1900s and even before, it was known that fasting was a really great mechanism for treating epilepsy. And it was something that was used in children very effectively for treating epilepsy.
Kids like to eat, though.
Kids like to eat. That's the biggest problem there. And obviously for growth, too. So, kids aren't going to be able to grow the way that they should be if they're not able to eat. So we had this problem that we needed to figure out. And in the 20s, it was found that this keto diet, which was just this high-fat, low-carb diet, induced this very similar metabolic state that you would experience during fasting, but it allowed you to eat. So, born was the ketogenic diet essentially from fasting. But as Dr. Gustin said, there's a really big difference between the two still.
Yeah, so even I've done a lot of blood work pre, during, and post, and then even further after myself doing 4, 5, and 7-day fasts. And you do not want the changes that go on in your blood or in your body to happen for a very, very, very long period of time. So yeah, there's some counts of people fasting 300 plus days, et cetera. But what happens basically, there's a lot of different things. When fasting, all your hormones pretty much dip down, and your body goes into kind of a scramble mode. You start eating up a lot of old cells called autophagy. You have a lot of changeover in different hormones. You have things that downregulate. My testosterone, my IGF-1, thyroid, everything just basically plummets. Then afterwards, you're gonna have sort of a super compensation effect where these hormones sort of rebound above where the baseline was before. That's what I've experienced every single time I've done it, which is just, you don't wanna be doing this all of the time, in my opinion.
Yeah, so that's kind of where the luxury of keto comes in. There's a ton of benefits of fasting. The autophagy that he's speaking about and a lot of the other benefits that come with fasting, those are great for the body, but never providing fuel to your body and not replenishing, the things that you're trying to recycle, that's not going to be great for your health. So just because, there are studies that show people being able to go 365 days without eating, that doesn't mean that they're thriving, they're surviving, and there's a big difference between the two. So yeah, I think that, with keto, we get this luxury of being able to get very similar benefits, not all of the benefits of fasting, but very similar benefits, but also still providing fuel to our body and all the nutrients that we need to thrive.
Yeah, and fasting can be a stress for a lot of people. So people who are right now under tons of stress because of work, or because of their life, or whatever. There's a lot of people who are, they're trying to make a change in their health. They're trying to do fasting, they're trying to do keto. Like, fasting is a really stressful thing for your body. I haven't been doing it for the last 8, 10 months or so because work has been really stressful. There's been a lot of other personal things going on. And when that happens, I remove fasting from my life completely. Whereas ketogenic diet can be nourishing throughout this entire process and lead to a lot of the same benefits like you were talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important way to look at fasting is we should look at fasting as a strategy or a tool that we can use to accomplish a certain goal, not necessarily a way of life or a lifestyle. I think that keto is more of a lifestyle, something that you can stick to long term, but fasting is something that we should be incorporating strategically. So for some people, maybe you want to incorporate intermittent fasting a couple times a week, or maybe you want to incorporate it every day for a set period of time and then go back to just eating a regular meal schedule. Maybe you're somebody who, like me, I notice a really big cognitive boost when I fast, so I may use fasting, like even before recording this video, I'm doing fasting, but that's not something that I'm using all the time because one of the things that we know is that when you're fasting, you almost inevitably restrict your calories, and calorie restriction is a good thing, but not something that we want to be doing for a very extended period of time, which too many people are kind of falling victim to when they're practicing fasting every day.
Yeah, so fasting will lead you to ketosis, but ketosis is probably when you're eating. So not the same thing.
Yep.
If you're looking to simplify everything you need to know about the world's most confusing diet, head on over to Amazon.com and pick up Keto Answers today. The best part about it is that you're not just getting basic information. It's almost like you're getting a tiny little version of me and Chris shrunk down, put in your pocket to answer every question you have along your way.
And that's not weird, it's beneficial.
It's the best.